Welcome back to another edition of Research Fantasy Presents our MLB DFS hitter picks for Monday, April 10th, 2017. I am your host, Nick Valinchak, better known as Nick from CWE on your favorite daily fantasy sites, and I'm here to break down my top 3 hitters on a very small Monday slate. Pricing is going to be done on FanDuel, though I do think I'm going to have to make a change to DraftKings because there's really no movement in pricing yet on FanDuel, and guys are just priced at ridiculous places that they don't need to be, and we're really not doing as much of a service if the picks we're giving you don't translate from FanDuel to DraftKings. I hope that kind of makes sense with what I'm saying. But nonetheless, that's where we're going to start today. My under 3K bat is Addison Russell of the Chicago Cubs, 2,700. Now, here's the thing with Russell. He's definitely a guy who goes overlooked on most slates. Tonight should be no different when you have Trevor Story, Corey Seager, Aledmus Diaz all ahead of him. Potentially Trey Turner as well. It's tough to say. He hasn't been put on the DL or anything like that. He's just day-to-day. Addison Russell off to a pretty good start to the year. I think that of all of the pitchers tonight, Alex Wood is someone I'm going to target. And the reason I have Russell on here is because, you know, stats are obviously a big thing. I think maybe they might be a bigger thing in baseball than anything else. So I know that people are going to gravitate toward all the lefties on the Cubs tonight because there's a 70-point difference in WOBA, a 10% difference in fly ball rate. Yeah, so that's what they're going to do. Pool rate's also higher for lefties, but the reality of the situation is he's allowing a harder contact to right-handed batters. This is a situation where I do think he's going to go under-owned because everybody's just going to want the lefties. He's hitting at a pretty good, he's hitting at a pretty good spot in the lineup, and I just see this as being a situation where everybody wants to go Schwarber, Zobrist, Rizzo, and Bryant, of course, because he's going to be the one they choose to be the, you know, contrarian play in that stack. And I'm much more comfortable with using Addison Russell. I'm not saying I feel more comfortable using him than Bryant, but I just like using him tonight. I think he's going to be a guy that really comes through for us. So he's my top tournament bat of the night. Next up, let's go to the Washington Nationals after a pretty pathetic road trip to Philly, where they could just not get anything done against Aaron Nola or Jeremy Hellickson. Let's go to Daniel Murphy, $3,600 on FanDuel. He's a hitting machine. I think in cash games, this is the first place you go, regardless of whether Coors is in action tonight or not. Murphy is just hitting. He's going to be taking on Adam Wainwright. Adam Wainwright, as it exists right now, just being slaughtered over the last year by left-handed bats. He's got a pretty high WOBA, pretty good fly ball rate, decent home run rate. Lots of pull and lots of contact, hard contact. So this is a dream situation for Murphy. He's not a big home run guy. We're not targeting Murphy because we think he's going to hit a home run. We're targeting Murphy because we think that one of the 3 batters is going to get on base ahead of him. We think he's going to come through with a single or a couple doubles and ultimately have a couple of RBIs as well. I think he's a good bet to reach double-digit points on both fantasy sites, and that's what you want for your cash game. If someone could give you that type of stability, it's probably going to be a good night. Our top play of the night is going to be Wil Myers, and this is another situation where Tyler Chatwood a little more susceptible to left-handed bats, but it's pretty much about down the middle. I love using the Padres when they come to Coors. I think that the first time they do it this year, I'm going to get away with potentially having lower ownership on them, and you will too, because I think people might still be looking at Tyler Chatwood and saying, okay, I'm going to be really slick here and I think that the Padres are going to struggle in this matchup. The Padres haven't struggled yet, basically, so I'm curious as to why going to Coors would cause them to struggle. So I'm thinking the next time they come to Coors, people will feel stupid because the first time they wanted to ignore them because they thought they were game theorying everything and Tyler Chatwood would be the way to go. And Chatwood's numbers are going to pull a lot of people in that direction because they're not bad. They really aren't. But we're talking about a guy early in the season pitching in Coors against an offense that seems to be coming together in the Padres. No chance in hell that Tyler Chatwood is making any of my lineups. Wil Myers, huge ceiling, one of my favorite players in baseball, maybe number 2 behind Nolan Arenado. I just love his skill set. He's got power. He's a good hitter, and I think that he's got a good probability of going yard tonight. I'm loving the Padres stack. Give me, Wil Myers. Give me Yanniveris Solarte. Give me Ryan Schimpf. I think all of these guys have a ton of upside, not to mention Manuel Margot. I think that the San Diego stack is going to be one of my favorite tonight. All right, once again, our top 3 tournament bats: Addison Russell, Daniel Murphy, Wil Myers. Thanks for joining. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel below. Head over to researchfantasy.com. Sign up for our MLB mailing list. You can find that by clicking the link in the description to our article for today. There is a prompt for a mailing list in there. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Research and Win. And join us again tomorrow.